Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, PLS, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn the notification bell, so in case I drop a new stories, you'll be the first to be notified. So let's get straight to today's stories. I had the only bedroom in my parents' high ranch house that wasn't on the second floor. The house had 2 levels, one upstairs accessible via a half flight of stairs, and one downstairs which housed the den, garage, my bedroom, and a bathroom. The other 3 bedrooms were all upstairs. As the oldest and only boy with 2 younger sisters, I got the downstairs room, which was the largest and coolest in the house. At the age of 10, I received a full-size bed, an upgrade from my previous twin bed. However, at 12, my sisters were still quite young, and I couldn't be left alone with my 5-year-old sister. My 8-year-old sister could be left alone with me, but only for short periods if my parents weren't going to be gone for too long. If they were going to be gone for extended periods, one of them would take both my sisters along. When I was 12, I started experiencing sleep disturbances. Despite having a fan providing white noise, I would wake up in the middle of the night and have trouble falling back asleep. This concerned me because I knew that such sleeping problems were not typical at that age. One night, while getting up to refill my water glass, I thought I heard a noise coming from inside my room. It unsettled me, so I decided to sleep on the living room couch instead. Later that same night, I heard noises coming from the kitchen, but I couldn't see who was there from my position on the couch. The next day, my mom mentioned a strange smell in my room, but I didn't notice anything unusual. That night, the air conditioning was on, and I fell asleep with the sound of air blowing from the vents. However, I woke up once again to a strange breathing sound in my room. Investigating, I found a large person lying under my bed on a pile of blankets. I screamed for my dad, who quickly removed the intruder and called 911. It turned out that the person was a homeless man, and we are uncertain how long he had been hiding under my bed. This terrifying experience caused significant mental damage, and I didn't feel comfortable sleeping in my room or the house for a long time. I had to sleep with my parents, and they installed security cameras throughout the house as a precaution. We also threw out any open food in the fridge, fearing contamination. The fear of someone hiding under my bed haunted me for years, as having someone there is every child's worst nightmare. So let's jump straight to story 2. During the weekend, when I was house sitting for my grandma while she was away in Florida with her church friends, I stayed in the guest bedroom adjacent to hers. The guest bedroom always had 2 twin beds where my brother and I used to sleep during sleepovers at the house. That night, I chose the bed next to the window and made sure all the doors were locked before getting into bed. Unable to sleep, I spent some time on my phone watching videos and texting. Suddenly, I started hearing a woman's voice saying hello repeatedly outside. Intrigued and a little unsettled, I cautiously approached the front door to listen more closely. Looking through the dining room windows, I spotted an older woman, probably in her late 50 seconds or early 60 seconds, on my grandma's stoop. She noticed me peering through the blinds, and her unnerving smile sent shivers down my spine. The situation was strange, as it was midnight, and I couldn't understand why someone would be there without knocking or ringing the bell. Feeling uneasy, I retreated to the guest bedroom, closed the door, and began texting my family and friends about the bizarre encounter. After a while, the silence was broken by banging at the window. The woman's voice returned, saying hello once more. Fueled by adrenaline, I bravely looked through the blinds again, face to face with the creepy woman, separated only by a thin layer of glass. I screamed at her, threatening to call the police. Feeling scared, I ran upstairs and locked myself in the upstairs guest bedroom, deciding to wait it out instead of immediately calling the cops. After a couple of hours, I checked outside again, and the woman seemed to have disappeared. The next morning, I told my grandma what had happened, and she reacted with panic, recalling an incident where she felt watched by a smiling woman at the grocery store a few days earlier. Though my grandma sometimes has some confusion due to her age, her fearful reaction made me wonder if it could have been the same person. Let's get into the final stories. In my early 20s, my brother and I decided to move out of our parents' house. Together with a mutual friend, we rented a 2-story house that had a unique older style, featuring high ceilings, ornate decorative handrails, and doorknobs. After we moved in, we discovered that the house had once been used as a funeral home, and there was an old detached garage where bodies used to be prepared for display. A small cemetery was situated just behind the house, although most of the tombs were obscured by tall grass. Since we were all intrigued by paranormal activities and ghost hunting shows, One of the first nights in the house, we went outside to try and capture electronic voice phenomena on our phones. Nevertheless, in hindsight, we might have unknowingly attracted something's attention. Strange occurrences began to happen. Our friend, who had chronic back problems, felt uncomfortable sleeping upstairs, so he slept on the couch downstairs. He claimed to hear footsteps and muttering voices, particularly a woman's happy sing-song voice, as if she were playfully speaking with a child. Over time, all three of us felt uneasy downstairs at night, sensing something peering in at us from the darkness outside. To cope, we covered all the windows with sheets, but our friend wasn't pleased about having to sleep on the ground floor alone. However, my brother and I were unwilling to sleep downstairs, and he didn't want to climb the stairs twice a day. One night, we were awakened by screams coming from downstairs. We rushed down to find our friend wide-eyed, clutching his blanket as if he had seen something horrifying. He explained that he woke up to the sound of ragged breathing from the corner of the room, and when he called out, something shifted in the darkness. We helped him upstairs, and he spent the night with us on the second floor. Personally, I had two vivid and alarming experiences, but I didn't share them with my roommates at the time. One day, while I was home alone, I was cleaning my bedroom and singing along to music without feeling uneasy. Suddenly, I saw a tall figure with long dark hair leaving my room and walking down the hall. I caught a glimpse of feathers hanging from the back of its head amid its hair. I pursued the figure, but it vanished, leaving me alone in the house. My second unsettling experience occurred on the day we were finally moving out. My brother and friend had already moved everything out, and I was alone, sweeping in the kitchen area. From across the house, I heard a soft thud, like towers falling over. It struck me as odd because almost everything had been removed from the house. Out of curiosity or perhaps foolishness, I decided to speak aloud, telling any potential presence that we were leaving and wouldn't bother them anymore. I asked for a sign, and to my surprise, I heard three knocks in response, coming from the basement. Terrified, I dropped the broom and hurried out of the house, waiting on the front steps until my brother arrived to pick me up. From that day on, I vowed never to dabble with the supernatural again.